Good afternoon, good day to everyone. Welcome to ACGC's first webinar for 2023. For those that don't know me, my name is Cynthia Loren. I'm one of the founders of ACGC.
Coaching is really about you, and the goal is that you have most of the answers inside you. You need someone to create a space where they can help you to unearth them.
Good morning. Thank you all for joining us at this very exciting Public Procurement Academy entitled Essentials in Procuring and Negotiating Bankable Infrastructure Projects in Africa.
The crisis in the world actually presents significant opportunities. Infrastructure financing is one of the most difficult things that you have. It's very easy to do it on budget. And if you look at public sector colleagues, everyone will want to do everything on budget, but the budget is limited.
Afternoon. Thank you very much to those of you that have joined us on time. I'm sure others will join forthwith. Welcome to our webinar on showing the value of a legal department. Our guest speaker, Sterling Miller, who I'll introduce shortly.
Have to talk about, when you talk about showing value, is what I call the evolution of the in-house lawyer position. And this is something I write about in the Showing Value book. But what I'm talking about are several phases that I have observed while being an in-house lawyer that I think get us to the point today where we're asking the question,
I wanted to ask you, David, you mentioned earlier, sort of, is your department facing these pressures? And if so, what are some of the solutions and other items you've implemented to address it?
Yeah, thank you, Tori. That's a great question. Yes, we are facing those pressures like the survey suggests. Because of that, just about 4 or more years ago, I hired the very first operation manager for our legal department to come in and provide leadership to my strategy around operations.
In terms of when you're being hired, of course, it's an in-house role. You're expected to be a generalist, but we also are trained to function as a law firm within the company. So we don't send legal work out, except those that absolutely have to go.
Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the 5th Annual African Corporate and Government Council Forum Conference.
We don't just want to be in-house counsel, right? We want to be catalysts. We want to activate things. We want to move things on pretty quickly. We want to be adding value.
Curiosity to know, to actually challenge what is happening out there, to know what the industry is doing, and just how to shift thinking. It's very exciting, especially when you're engaging with regulators and just changing their thinking in terms of how to structure policy and how to structure engagement with it.
By getting into the corporate setting that I began to understand the dynamics of how a corporate setting works. And then I remembered maybe 5 years, 6 years later that I had studied law.
When I'm asking for a legal opinion, I know what the law says, right? I know what the law says, but I want a business solution to that problem.
You will indulge me as I reflect on my journey. To say that it was planned would be a lie. To say that it was executed perfectly would also be a lie. I like to describe it as an imperfectly executed, imperfect plan.
Been building on our conference themes. In 2021, we focused on reimagining the in-house legal team. We did that in Lagos, and that was, most post-COVID, or kind of in the midst of COVID, and just thinking about how do we do things differently within corporate legal departments. In 2022, we tackled the theme of pushing beyond the limits. So thinking about how you navigate changing landscape, both from a legal perspective and also operationally. And this year, our theme is passion for performance. We want to consider and address not just how we operate in an optimal way, but also how we operate in a purposeful way and in a way that drives and inspires passion.
Pleasure to be here in Lagos and to be holding this event in Lagos, because actually this is where ACGC was born in 2019.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Okshara Adejiro. I'm the Company Secretary General Counsel of Princely Estates Limited.
This is the city of Makerere. I work for Julius Way.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Trudy Ufini. I'm the Director of Legal at Video Capital.
Successful in-house lawyers take risk. They understand risk and they decide they're not afraid to take chances. Because risk, and that's not all risk is negative. I alluded to this a few minutes ago that companies take risk because the payoff. You may want to do a merger with another company. You know that it's risky, that the competition authorities may say no. And you can say, well, there's a chance they're going to say no, so let's don't even do it. Or you could say there's a chance they'll say yes, especially if we can present the benefits of the merger in a certain way. If we get that merger, we're going to add a gajillion dollars of incremental revenue to the company. Let's take the risk. That is an example of a positive risk. There are, of course, risks that are so bad and awful, like, we could just not pay our taxes and see if they catch us.